Alrighty, guys, it is time to get started on part one, first one of the Essential 5 as you're leading for transformation. So again, my name is Mindy Calliguire. Delighted to have you on this journey with us, with me, and with the vision of soul care. And our hope is that you would be flourishing in the midst of your life and leadership, and that we can come alongside with ideas and practices and experiences and relationships that help you on that journey. And it's a vital and an important one. So, of course, you know this is where this first one is going to be, but I have to say it anyway because we cannot just skip over it and make assumptions about ourselves or anyone else. It is vital that you begin as the first of these essentials with a commitment to lead from strength or pave the way, or there's a variety of ways you could think about this, but what it says on our download is you need to operate from health. Guys, this is so huge. I know we're tired of the illustration of before, you put your oxygen mask on somebody else, you have to put it on yourself. Have you ever been on a plane where anybody actually had to do that? Anyway, separate topic. But really, sometimes we get so enamored with the help we're going to give to somebody else that we quickly jump over a true assessment of how are we actually doing. It's very easy to do that, especially in the context of ministry, where you can be overwhelmed with the needs of your community, with the needs of people whose life concerns may be even more pressing or dire than your own. And that's noble and beautiful for you to bring that care and concern into the world. But I promise you, your ability to actually help will be very short-lived if you do not figure out how to allow yourself to be breathing in what you need to receive in order to bring the contribution and the leadership that you need to bring to your others. Similar maybe to an oxygen mask, but the metaphor that I often write about at times is actually scuba gear, all right? It's like you are trying to do the impossible. You are trying to navigate and breathe basically underwater. You are in an environment, I don't care where you are, what your ministry is, the atmosphere that we operate in here on earth is sort of inherently hostile to the life of the kingdom. It is contrarian. It is a different way of life. And it is very difficult to operate when you can't breathe. And I like to think of the different practices and relationships, intentionality that you would bring around the care of your own soul as being similar to heading into deep water with scuba gear. Like, you will not survive if you do not have a breathing apparatus. And we need to breathe in the life of the kingdom. And think of the beautiful scriptural imagery of breath and the pneuma, the Spirit of God. We need to be breathing, need to breathe. That's even a band, right? We need to be breathing the atmosphere, the breath of God, the life of God into our own lives, into our own lungs, so that from that place of strength and health and fullness, we can actually show up with something to offer other people in our lives and the people we serve. So, how healthy is your own soul like today? How healthy is it? If you're sort of not sure, which it's understandable if you're not, a lot of us are kind of vague and not really sure how to even assess the well-being of our soul. We do have on our website, soulcare.com, you can go to an assessment that's right there on the homepage that is, let's just take you like 3 to 5 minutes. It's 20 some odd questions that, don't rush through it. Thoughtfully answer. Some of them will take a little bit to think about what is really true for me right now. And you'll get a score at the end of it, and you'll be able to say, okay, here's my sort of benchmarks, point in time, here's where I'm at. And it'll drop you into one of 3 categories. One is flourishing. You could be just flourishing. And please, we're encouraged to hear that. We hope that you'll keep mentoring and helping others find their way into that life. So you may be flourishing today. You might be in a season of what we would call strengthening, where it would be wise to start really taking seriously the care of your own soul so that you can endure and flourish and impart that kind of life to others. And you may be in a season of true healing. You may be in a place where your soul is in a really rough spot. And again, given the context of our whole purpose in this series of leading for transformation, if you're in a season of healing, no shame in that, but please pause. Surround yourself. Take some radical steps to provide what you need to help your soul heal and move into a place of more overflow, more of things that you can offer to God's people. And your story will be a story that encourages others who are in similar places. So this in no way disqualifies you, but it does hopefully provide a wake-up call to how are you really doing right now. So assessment is a key way to understand how is your soul today. And of course, the good news is God can always bring healing and life and new energies to us, no matter where we're at. So again, there's no bad news. It's just what is real, what is truthful, and that is your starting point. From there, you'll want to go through a process of evaluating what kinds of things are you doing in your life that are life-giving to you. You might want to start putting into place some relationships or practices or experiences that would help you in this season, either maintain a place of great soul health or increase your soul health wherever you're at. Some examples of relationships could be a ministry peer that you just get together with and pray for your own health, your own soul's well-being. Could be a spiritual director, could be a coach, could be a therapist, could be any number of people. We talk about a page, a person, and a plan at Soul Care. Like we need the invitation to reflection. We need a safe third space to process the hard stuff of life and leadership and the good stuff. And then we also need a plan, some intentionality. So some of the practical steps you could take might involve pulling out a journal and blowing the dust off of it and making friends with it and not feeling guilty about anything related to it. There's some free downloads on our site. If journaling and the invitation to reflection is something that is not a natural thing for you, that's fine. But you might find it a helpful way to bring some health into your own soul by pausing to reflect, consider, how are you doing? And then that's sort of the page of this 3-part framework. And the person part would be, who is that person? Who is that safe third place? If we can help you finding people like that, we're happy to, but I'm sure there's people in your context who actually care about you and with whom you could be quite honest about what's really going on. And that will breathe life. Again, that oxygen, it will breathe life into you and equip you to really lead well for the formation of the people in your care. And then the plan part is another area that is like, how do we have the invitation to intentionality? How are you bringing intentionality to the well-being of your soul? What rhythms would be helpful to you to adopt? Are you taking a Sabbath? Are you getting enough sleep? What does retreat look like on a regular basis for you to just kind of intentionally pull yourself away from the demands of life and just connect with God? Just reground into the being. Maybe you're on the precipice of heading out on sabbatical. That's another great practice to pull into your life, or maybe an experience, you could say. So all of those things could be helpful. We also have a resource about a soul care plan that might be helpful to you. But the most important thing is you cannot help the fact that however your soul actually is will drive everything that matters to you, including your ability to lead for the formation of others. Your soul's well-being will drive everything that matters to you. You don't sign up for that. You can't stop that. That's the way God has created you and me and all of us to be. So rather than inflicting yourself on anybody else, if you're not in a healthy place, again, no shame around that. Leadership can take a pound of flesh. There's no doubt. It's a very difficult assignment, but the Lord can meet you in it. And we are here to inspire that journey for you, help you if we can, but keep cheering you on. And so this is the first of the 5 essentials. And please pause here as long as you need to in order to get to a point where you are able to give out of the overflow of what God's doing in your life. Godspeed.